Monday, March 11th, market analysis, Dan Ehrlich. Good morning. Almost 10 o'clock California time, not quite. We start out with the indexes, of course. The daily chart on the E-mini, we are down a little, about 10 points almost, and that translates into approximately a point lower, give or take a bit, on the spider. The market acted fairly weak on Friday, and I think it started the decline that I've been looking for. Not a lot of evidence that that's true today. Need to get down and close lower and maybe even challenge today's lows or make a new low. I'd love to see this close below 51.19, which is the lows for the approximate last 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks. Then I'd feel a lot more confident about the decline perpetuating itself. First downside target is going to be around 50-50, 50-60. Then the second target is 49.43-ish. But my real expectation in a few weeks or month, maybe and a half, down to 48.50. But I'm not really bearish. I'm a correctionary in a bull trend. So this break I'm expecting should be an excellent longer-term buying opportunity. Okay, next chart. We're looking at the E-mini 1-minute chart, and you can see Sunday afternoon opened, dribbled back and forth down, making new lows, and we're in the midst of a little bit of a rally at the moment, but still down 975 on the E-mini, about 10 points lower. Not a lot, but I need to see more weakness. This doesn't look terribly weak at the moment. QQQs down as you would expect, looking for a breakdown into the support areas. 412, 413 is my downside objective, but there are a couple of levels on the way down where it might hold. They haven't reached it yet. Breaking below 433.60 would be very helpful in my expectation that the downside targets are going to be fulfilled, but we haven't broken that yet or closed below that yet. Again, 433.30-ish. Looking forward to that very shortly. We're looking at the Q's 1-minute chart, gap down a little bit this morning, came back up, closed the gap. Typical. Turned back down, didn't make a new low, and is now going sideways. So I'm looking for more weakness right around the corner. NASDAQ, same thing as the Qs, as you would expect. Looking for recent lows to be challenged and broken, and that would help a lot in the perpetuation of the downswing, I would expect. And now here's the NASDAQ on the 1-minute chart. Resistance above the market on a very short-term basis. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry. And no change of opinion. All the indexes I'm looking for a little bit of a break in the next few weeks. I just need to have a little more evidence that the darn thing has started. So far, the market's been extremely strong and really has been fighting my bearish expectations pretty successfully. Dow daily Russell 2000 down a bit today, but only lower than the last couple of days. Same kind of commentary, looking for a big correction, not getting much of anything at the moment. 1 minute Russell 2000 opened, dropped off to minor new lows, and then been creeping its way back up a little bit, but still down on the day of point. Now, bonds. They got overbought on Friday, and that's Thursday, and they're still in overbought territory. We're seeing the market flatten out for the last 2 or 3 days. I am expecting another retracement down into the support area 119, maybe 18, 17, 3/4, and then much higher. I am not bearish, on interest rate futures, I'm looking for a correction in a longer-term bull move. Next chart is the 10-year notes. I got the same commentary, came up to resistance, stalling out, no reversal as yet. I'd love to get an ER sell signal, which would be a red bar. Something like this one only worked for a few days, though. A lot of times, of course, they work for, well, not only a few days, weeks, but sometimes many months. Next, we're only looking at the 1 minute chart here on the 10-year notes. Well, it looks like you could make some minor new lows. Next, we see the crude oil making new lows for a couple of weeks. Not any kind of a breakout, but it is for the first time now in a week and a half completely below the resistance area where it had poked its head up into that resistance, had trouble up there, and finally we had a bearish engulfing on Friday. Not a sell signal per se for the ER, otherwise it'd be red because it never got overbought. So on the heating oil, we have a current short doing very well, a little lower on the day, or high, slightly higher on the day at the moment than the closing of Friday, which was a bearish engulfing. So I'm expecting to see lower levels very soon. Our stop is not very far away, though. That's pretty close, around 266.44. So we might end up taking a profit here, but I think it's got more downside potential, and I hope we don't get hit on the stop. Now, if you were using the ER strategy, you could slow down the stop if you wanted and raise the stop slightly, but I wouldn't recommend doing it very much. The whole purpose of this is to have the stop follow the market down. Since it's going sideways, the stop got a little bit closer. Next chart. NASDAQ, natural gas, daily, April futures contract, minor new lows, almost low and last. We were long, ended up with a very small, profitable, nothing much trade. A little bit of a disappointment, but green is green. So, looking for a test of support at lower levels. Modestly bearish for the moment. I don't see anything intermediate to longer term bullish. I think it could keep bobbling back and forth on the way down. Next, natural RBOB, gasoline, unleaded gas, low and last almost, trying to make new lows for the last few days. I expect it will. We got a little bit of a double top here in a resistance area. The first high was an overbought condition. Love it. Looking for lower levels. Next, we've got gold. Inside trading range day, slightly higher, a couple of dollars, 2.5 or so. I'm saying that this gold market is topping out, but it just doesn't seem to cooperate so far. Need to get lower lows on a lower closing basis below previous lows to start to have this thing swing down. The low the next day has been higher every day for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 today days in a row. The low has been higher than the previous day's low. It doesn't seem to want to start slipping. But with a RSI of an incredible 93.5, I've got to stand my ground. I mean, I haven't seen an RSI that high in a long, long time. And when this thing starts to break down, it could be big and fast. Next, should be big and fast. Silver, similar kind of comment, not quite as overbought, but overbought in a resistance, broad resistance area, looking for it to turn down, no signal yet. Platinum, overbought today, and now at a little bit of resistance, nothing special, looking for it to start to turn down also very soon here. All three precious metals. Copper, right up against resistance, having a lot of trouble Thursday, Friday today, and it should start to turn back down also, but hanging in there at the moment. Soybeans did get up to the resistance area and to it and through it. Late Friday popped up a lot more. Now, too bad I didn't get a buy signal at the bottom. We came close, but close doesn't count. And we have a new high today At the moment, it's trading a nickel lower. I don't trust a rally in beans, even if it gets all the way back up to 1270, and I doubt that. I think it's going to turn down at any old time. We're overbought today, so it could be now. This is a bear trend. It made new lows for a couple of years, then came back to a little resistance. I think it's going to turn around and head into new low ground completely. Soybean oil, same story completely. Soybean meal, same story, at resistance, close to overbought, looking for a market to turn down, period. Next, we've got corn, also overbought slightly. And we're still long, though, from the bottom of the market. The bottom day, we turned green on the corn trade. That was February 26th. So maybe we're going to see a little bit more strength. But again, I don't trust the long side of the market, signal or no signal. It's working. I mean, that's the good part. I just don't have any long-term bullish expectation at this particular point. Next, here's the corn trade in detail, 5-minute chart. Got in, couple of days, stop, start moving on a position trade, and now protecting a profit. Not a lot. Stop is around 430 and a half. We're in at 22, so 8 cents, 400 and change. Looking good, new high. Well, I like what I see. We'll see how far this can go, but I don't trust it. Anytime I think that's going to turn around, I might tighten up my stop a little. Now, wheat, very unusual situation today. We had a buy signal on Friday. ER1 scalp got in and made a day trade. ER1 position got in and held the trade over the weekend, but this morning early, and you'll see it on the 1-minute chart in a minute, the market dropped very sharply and quickly and hit our ER1 overnight position and got stopped out with a loss. A very short period of time later, and here we go with the 1-minute chart. Just a second. There's the big break, real fast, 6:31 California time. Hit our ER1 overnight, stop, we're out. Lost some money on the ER1 overnight. And we're flat. Also, the ER3 scalp and overnight kicked in, bought it at around 4:14 in the morning. And those two got stopped out at the same spot that the one overnight got stopped out. That's 3. That's not good. But after making lows lower than the previous day's low, which we did early this session, 6:30 in the morning, it has come screaming all the way back to higher than the previous day's high, generating in the last couple of hours a brand new, another green ER buy signal, oversold condition, outside up day. Now we have one on Friday and it didn't work, plus another one on top of Friday's today, and we have to see whether it's going to work. So far, ER1 for the brand new signal generated today and overnight, scalp and overnight are both doing fine. We're in at around 545. It's 548 momentarily. We'll see how this pans out. I also will have orders in for ER3 based on today's signal, because Friday's has been canceled out when we went down at 6:30 in the morning this morning and hit all the stops. That was it. Bad signal on Friday. Brand new one. Again, this is fairly rare that you see two signals immediately back to back, one day after the next. We'll see how the second one turns out. Next, cattle. Doing okay at resistance, but having some trouble. I'm still long. Our stop is way up here, doing pretty good. We'll see how this pans out. It looks like the resistance is going to stop this rally, and it's going to come down maybe and stop us out of our long position. But if it can clear above resistance on a closing basis, we may still be holding our long And it should have another significant shot up very quickly if you can clear resistance overhead on a closing basis. Otherwise, I think we got a problem here and we're going to take a profit. Next, heating hogs touched resistance a couple of weeks ago perfectly, pulled back down to some support below the market, and is now fiddling around in the support area. So I'm going to wait a little bit on hogs to come up with some ideas. Right now, not very sure about it, so I'm waiting. OJ, still in this flat bottom right triangle, no changes, waiting for a breakout one way or the other. Next, we've got a double top potential on cocoa. I was claiming it was a blow off top, acted a little bit like it with a sharp break almost immediately, but it came all the way back up and actually did make a new high by a very few number of ticks, and that was early last week. Now it's dribbling off slowly. That's not particularly typical of a blow off top. They usually top out right away. So I have some doubts in my mind, but I've got to look at this and say double top overbought conditions should be heading south. Next, coffee. Resistance stopped it real accurately. Again today. Frankly, looking for the market to pull back a bit more. Next, sugar. A little bit of weakness, nothing special. Intermediate to longer term bearish. Short term, probably a little bearish. It's going to dribble off and make, again, new lows. But it was just a couple days ago oversold. So it might have to go a little higher first before it makes the new lows. But anytime now, new lows. Cotton the rag. Down quite a bit. Like what I see. This is about 1 day too late. There's something going on with the New York Exchange and the quotes here. So back to the E-mini. Again, like what I see as far as the weakness is concerned on the stock indexes. Here's the E-mini, and here's the E-mini 1 minute. Slipping off here since we last looked at it about 20 minutes ago. Okay, you guys have a great trading day. Sayonara. Hasta luego.